Have you ever felt your muscles weakening, or struggled with restless nights that just won't let you sleep? Maybe you chalk it up to just getting old, like so many of us do. But what if I told you it's not simply age catching up? What if these signs are whispers from your body, hinting at something deeper we often overlook? These little troubles might seem small, easy to ignore, but they can quietly steal away your independence and joy. In today's video, we're going to explore some surprising truths about why feeling old isn't always what it seems, and how simple changes can make a big difference. By the end, I'll share one habit that's helped many seniors regain strength and peace of mind. So, if you've ever wondered why these aches and restless nights keep coming back, stay with me. You're not alone on this journey. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Love after 65 isn't like it used to be. For most of your life, you probably pictured love as a grand adventure, full of passion, butterflies, and maybe a few heartbreaks along the way. Maybe you remember those long phone calls in your youth, the excitement of waiting by the window, the nervous energy before a first date. Now, though, as the years have passed, you might find that love feels different, or perhaps it's missing altogether. You might catch yourself watching couples walk hand in hand at the park or glance at old wedding photos and wonder, why doesn't love feel the same anymore? Is it just me, or has something quietly shifted with age? Many seniors quietly accept this change, assuming it's simply what happens after 65. We tell ourselves it's normal to feel less excitement, that the heart settles down, and that this is just a part of growing older. But beneath that quiet acceptance, there might be a hint of sadness, or a whisper of longing for something more. Is this just the way it is? Or is there something we're overlooking? What if I told you that love after 65 isn't supposed to look or feel like it did decades ago? We grow up with stories of forever romance and believe that if we don't feel the same spark at 70 as we did at 30, something must be wrong. But the truth is, love evolves, just as we do. What once meant passion and excitement may now mean comfort, understanding, or simply sharing a cup of coffee in silence. Science tells us that our brains, hormones, and emotional needs change over time. The intensity of infatuation gives way to something deeper and quieter. Oxytocin, the so-called bonding hormone, often becomes more important than adrenaline and dopamine, which fueled our younger romances. As we age, our bodies and hearts start to crave peace and companionship, not drama. Researchers have found that older adults report greater satisfaction from stable, predictable relationships than from the roller coasters of youth. We start valuing trust, kindness, and shared routines over grand romantic gestures. This isn't a loss. It's a gentle shift toward a kind of love that matches our stage in life. But sometimes, we forget that this new version of love is not only natural but also healthy. So, what can you do if you find yourself feeling disappointed that love after 65 isn't as thrilling as you remember? First, permit yourself to let go of old expectations. Remind yourself that there's nothing wrong with you, and you're certainly not alone. Start by celebrating the quiet moments, the gentle touch of a hand, the comfort of shared memories, the simple act of sitting together in the glow of evening light. Instead of chasing the rush of new love, try nurturing gratitude for the stability, safety, and friendship you can offer and receive now. If you're single, don't pressure yourself to seek out fireworks. Instead, focus on building meaningful connections, whether that means rekindling old friendships, joining a club or group, or even adopting a pet for companionship. If you're in a relationship, talk openly with your partner about how your needs have changed. Sometimes, something as simple as a new daily ritual, like an afternoon walk or a shared crossword puzzle, can breathe new life into your bond. Let me tell you about Mrs. Harper, a lovely woman from my church who lost her husband 5 years ago. For a while, she felt something was missing. She missed the butterflies and the wild excitement of her younger days. But over time, she found comfort in unexpected places. Sharing coffee with friends, volunteering at the library, or calling her sister just to chat. One day she told me, "At my age, love is quiet. It's about being present for someone, even if it's just for a smile." She no longer chases the thrill of young romance but finds joy in the steady warmth of friendship and self-acceptance. So, if you've ever felt that love after 65 isn't what it used to be, I want you to know, it's okay. You haven't lost anything. You've simply gained a new perspective. Let go of what love should look like, and open your heart to what it can be right now. Your story is still unfolding, and every chapter matters. Sometimes, the gentlest kind of love is the most powerful. The one that lets you feel safe, seen, and cherished for exactly who you are in this very season of life. So, embrace the change, celebrate the quiet joys, and remember, love at any age is still yours to define. 2. Wanting independence means accepting loneliness. Have you ever noticed how much value we place on independence in this country? From the time we're children, we're taught to stand on our own 2 feet, make our own choices, and find our path. For many of us, this pride in self-reliance only grows stronger as the years go by. After 65, you might feel it more than ever. You want to manage your own life, make your own decisions about your home, your health, and your day. Maybe you even relish having your own space. No need to compromise over what's for dinner, or wait up for anyone else. There's a quiet power in doing things on your terms. But then, in the stillness of the evening, or during a Sunday afternoon when the phone doesn't ring, a subtle ache might settle in. Maybe you feel a little left out, or you wonder if anyone's thinking about you. The television hums, the neighborhood quiets down, and a thought lingers. Is this freedom, or am I just alone? Isn't there a way to keep your independence without giving in to loneliness? It's a question worth asking, because so many of us assume that loneliness and independence are 2 sides of the same coin. We tell ourselves, if I want to do things my way, I have to accept that sometimes I'll be by myself. It's almost as if, by choosing autonomy, we're signing up for isolation. But is that true? Do we have to pick one or the other? Or is there a gentler, more fulfilling balance? The truth is, independence and loneliness aren't as inseparable as we sometimes fear. Psychologists have found that while social connections are vital for our well-being, the quality of those connections matters more than the quantity. It's entirely possible to live alone, manage your own life, and still feel deeply connected to others. Seniors who nurture meaningful relationships, be it with friends, neighbors, or family, often report higher life satisfaction, even if they spend much of their time alone. Independence doesn't have to mean isolation. It can mean freedom with choice, and relationships that bring joy instead of obligation. But achieving this balance isn't always easy. It means shifting the way we think about togetherness. Instead of waiting for someone else to bridge the gap, try taking small steps to create meaningful moments in your everyday life. Maybe it's joining a book club at the library, or volunteering at a local food pantry once a week. Perhaps it's picking up the phone to call your granddaughter, even if she's the one who usually calls you. If you're not comfortable with in-person groups, you might find connection online. There are countless forums and communities for seniors who share your hobbies, your background, even your favorite recipes. And don't overlook the power of routine encounters. Saying hello to your neighbor as you collect the mail, chatting with the barista at your favorite coffee shop, or simply smiling at someone during your morning walk can add a spark of connection to your day. You'd be surprised how these little moments can fill the quiet spaces in your life with warmth. Let me share the story of Mr. Carter, who lives a few blocks away from me. After his wife passed, he was determined to keep living in his own home, doing things just as he liked. For months, he rarely spoke to anyone. But as the loneliness set in, he started leaving his porch light on in the evenings. Gradually, neighbors stopped by to say hello. He began organizing small potlucks, just simple gatherings with sandwiches and lemonade. Soon, his house became a gentle hub for conversation and laughter. He still treasures his independence. No one tells him what to do or how to spend his day, but now he doesn't feel alone. He built a rhythm of connection into his independence, and his smile tells the whole story. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. So if you've ever wrestled with the choice between independence and connection, know that you're not alone. You can have both. The trick is to honor your need for autonomy while also reaching out in small, sincere ways to those around you. Even the bravest, most independent among us need a friend to share a laugh, a neighbor to wave goodnight, or a community to lean on when the days grow long. Remember, independence isn't about shutting people out. It's about choosing how and with whom you share your time. Loneliness might knock on the door now and then, but you don't have to invite it in to stay. Take that first step, however small, and you'll find that a truly independent life can be filled with connection, meaning, and a deep sense of belonging. 3. Financial and health burdens make love fragile. There's a quiet truth that many older adults know all too well, even if it isn't talked about over coffee or at family gatherings. In our younger years, love seemed almost unstoppable. No mountain too high, no storm too strong. Together, you could weather anything. But after 65, a new reality begins to set in. You might find that love, while still precious, feels a little more vulnerable than before. Think back to when you first fell in love. How easy it was to dream about the future, to imagine shared adventures, maybe even growing old together without a care in the world. But now, every relationship, new or old, comes with extra luggage. There are bills to pay, medical appointments to keep, and worries that you simply didn't have in your 20s. If you're living on a fixed income, you know how quickly a doctor's visit or a new prescription can strain the budget. If you have health problems, even a short walk in the park or a dinner out can feel like a logistical challenge. It's easy to believe that love is supposed to conquer all. But what if it can't? What if the daily realities of financial strain and chronic health conditions begin to weigh on your relationship, quietly pulling at the seams? Is it still possible to find joy and connection under the weight of these burdens? Or does love after 65 have to bend and sometimes break under the pressure? The truth is, financial and health challenges do test the strength of any bond, but especially in our later years. Studies show that money issues are one of the leading causes of stress for seniors, often leading to arguments, anxiety, and even the breakdown of relationships. Add health problems, arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, or the endless list of pills and treatments, and it's no wonder many people feel overwhelmed. When both partners bring their own financial histories and medical needs, the logistics of love can seem downright daunting. But science and experience also tell us something hopeful. Couples and companions who talk honestly about their situations, set clear boundaries, and practice empathy are more likely to make it through tough times together. It's not about pretending the burdens don't exist. It's about facing them as a team, or if you're single, learning to protect yourself and nurture your sense of security. So what can you do, practically, when money and health worries threaten to overshadow your happiness? The first step is always open communication. If you're with a partner, have gentle but honest conversations about budgets, medical bills, and future needs. Don't wait until a crisis to talk about these things. Make a simple plan. Maybe you decide together how much to spend on dates, or create a weekly schedule for doctor's visits and medication refills. If you're living alone or dating someone new, protect your finances by keeping separate accounts, being cautious with lending or borrowing, and trusting your instincts. There's nothing wrong with asking for help or advice from a financial counselor or social worker, either. On the health front, small habits can make a big difference. Encourage each other to stay active in ways that fit your abilities. Short walks, gentle stretching, or even gardening. Share healthy meals when possible, and celebrate the victories, no matter how small. Sometimes, Just having someone listen when you're frustrated or scared is the best medicine there is. Let me tell you about Ellen and Joe, a couple who met in their 70s at a local community center. Ellen lives on Social Security, and Joe has some savings from a lifetime of hard work, but both are careful with every dollar. Joe also has heart issues, while Ellen battles arthritis. Instead of hiding their struggles, they made it a point to be upfront from the start. "We agreed on our very first date that honesty was non-negotiable," Ellen once shared with a laugh. They plan affordable activities, a picnic in the park, movie nights at home, and help each other through doctor visits and tough days. Of course, there are moments of tension and worry, but their openness allows love to bloom in unexpected ways. "Our love isn't about escaping the hard stuff," Ellen says. "It's about facing it together." So if you're feeling the pressure of financial and health burdens, please remember, you're not alone, and your situation doesn't make you any less worthy of love or companionship. True connection isn't about being perfect or problem-free. It's about finding comfort, honesty, and even a little laughter in the face of life's challenges. Whether you walk this road with someone else or on your own, take heart. With clear boundaries, open conversations, and compassion for yourself and others, love, while fragile, can still endure and sometimes even grow stronger. The heart, after all, is resilient. 4. Family isn't always supportive of late-life love. It's a quiet Sunday afternoon, the kind where the sunlight falls softly through the kitchen window and the house feels a little too still. Maybe you're making yourself a cup of tea, thinking back on old times, or scrolling through photos of your children and grandchildren. You love your family deeply. They are your pride and your joy, the center of your world for decades. But lately, you've found yourself longing for something more. A new companion, someone to share laughter and the quiet moments that fill your days. For the first time in years, you're letting yourself hope that it's not too late for love. Yet, as soon as you try to share this piece of your heart with your family, the air seems to change. Maybe your daughter grows silent, your son cracks a joke that feels just a little sharp, or a grandchild rolls their eyes and changes the subject. Suddenly, you sense an invisible wall, one you never expected from the people you love most. Isn't family supposed to want you to be happy, no matter your age? It's a feeling many older adults know all too well but seldom speak aloud. We grow up believing that love is always a cause for celebration, especially within the family. Yet, as we age, it can become complicated. Adult children worry about your safety, your finances, or whether a new relationship will change long-standing family routines. Sometimes their concerns come from love, sometimes from fear, and sometimes, frankly, from their discomfort with change. But is it fair or healthy for your happiness to depend on everyone else's approval? Does finding joy in your later years mean risking family harmony? This is one of those topics that science and social research are just beginning to truly understand. Studies show that family resistance to late-life love is surprisingly common, even in modern American society, which prides itself on independence and personal choice. Researchers find that children, regardless of their ages, often view their parents' or grandparents' love lives through the lens of tradition and protection, not always through empathy or support. It's not unusual for family members to feel anxious about inheritance, caregiving, or simply the fear of losing their place in your life. But here's the gentle truth. Your happiness matters too, and your heart doesn't stop longing for connection just because you have grandchildren. Psychologists agree that emotional fulfillment at every stage of life is essential for health and well-being. Trying to please everyone, especially when it comes to love, can leave you feeling isolated, unappreciated, or even invisible in your own family. So what can you do when family isn't as supportive as you'd hoped? The first step is an open, honest conversation. It might feel awkward at first, but sharing your feelings, your hopes, and even your vulnerabilities can help your loved ones see things from your perspective. Try not to react defensively to their worries. Instead, ask them to share their concerns, and listen. Reassure them that you're not replacing anyone. You're just seeking companionship, which is a basic human need, not a betrayal of family ties. Sometimes it helps to set clear boundaries. You can remind your family that your personal life is your decision, while also promising to remain open about your choices. If you sense genuine concern about safety or finances, invite them to participate in the conversation. Meet your new companion together, discuss expectations, or set up practical safeguards for peace of mind. Let me tell you about Mr. Lawrence, a widower from Minnesota who found new love at 76. His daughter was initially upset, worried that her father would be taken advantage of or that the family dynamic would change. For a while, their relationship grew tense. But Mr. Lawrence didn't give up. He invited his daughter to lunch with his new companion, patiently answered her questions, and never hid his feelings. Over time, his daughter realized her father's happiness was genuine. Their family eventually found a new rhythm, one with room for both love and togetherness. If you're struggling with a lack of family support, take heart. Remember, your life is still your own to live. Your children and grandchildren may need time to adjust, but your happiness is worth standing up for. Be gentle, be patient, but be true to yourself. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Love in later life isn't just possible. It's a testament to your courage and the richness of your spirit. Even if your family doesn't understand at first, don't let that dim your hope. Your heart deserves joy, connection, and the freedom to bloom, no matter your age. 5. Late-life love is often more about friendship. Maybe you've noticed that the stories we're told about love when we're young always focus on fireworks. The breathless excitement, the sleepless nights, the passion that sweeps two people off their feet. Movies and novels make it seem like love must always be dramatic and all-consuming. But as the years pass, and as you find yourself in the quiet of your living room on a rainy afternoon, you might wonder, where did all that intensity go? Is it possible that, after 65, love begins to look and feel like something entirely different? It's easy to assume that a lack of grand gestures or wild romance means love has faded or isn't real anymore. But what if that's not true at all? What if, instead, love is evolving into something deeper and more lasting? A friendship that feels just as vital, if not more so, than the passion of younger days. Science backs this up. Psychologists have found that as we age, the emotional needs that love fulfills change. The thrill of new romance is often replaced by the comfort of shared routines, deep conversations, and gentle understanding. Older adults report that the strongest, most satisfying relationships in their lives are built less on excitement and more on trust, respect, and companionship. This doesn't mean passion disappears entirely. It just softens, making room for a quieter joy. This kind of friendship-based love can be especially meaningful. It's about having someone who knows how you take your coffee, who remembers your favorite stories, and who sits with you in silence when words aren't needed. It's laughing at the same old joke, sharing a walk around the block, or simply knowing that there's someone who cares whether you made it home safely. At this stage, the connection is less about impressing each other and more about supporting each other every single day. What can you do if you're longing for connection but find yourself missing the spark that once defined love? Start by embracing the value of friendship in your relationships. Allow yourself to enjoy the gentle pleasures, a shared crossword puzzle, watching a favorite TV show together, tending a garden side by side. Don't measure your love against a Hollywood standard. Instead, cherish the steady warmth that grows from understanding and acceptance. If you're single, look for opportunities to build meaningful friendships, not just romantic ones. Join a club or volunteer group, reconnect with old friends, or simply reach out to someone new for a chat. Sometimes, the best relationships begin as friendships and blossom slowly, over shared laughter and honest conversations. Let me tell you about Helen and George, who met at a local senior center after both had lost their spouses. They started out as friends, enjoying bingo nights and book discussions. There was no lightning bolt, no whirlwind romance, just an easy comfort in each other's company. Over time, their friendship deepened. They found themselves looking forward to their weekly coffee dates, confiding in one another, and supporting each other through health scares and family challenges. "We never talk about being in love," Helen once said, "but I can't imagine my days without him." Their bond isn't about grand declarations, but about simple, steadfast companionship. So, if you find yourself in a relationship that feels more like friendship than romance, or if you're single and longing for a deep connection, remember, this is not a loss, but a new kind of gain. Late-life love, grounded in friendship, can be just as fulfilling, sometimes even more so, than the heady rush of youth. You deserve relationships that bring comfort, joy, and a sense of belonging. Don't be afraid to let love evolve, to welcome the gentle companionship that brightens your days and soothes your spirit. In the end, the deepest love isn't always the loudest. It's the steady hand to hold, the trusted friend by your side, and the quiet assurance that, no matter what, you are valued and cherished. That's a love story worth living, at any age. 6. It's hard to find a truly compatible partner later in life. As the years go by, many of us find that the circle of potential partners seems to grow smaller and smaller. When we were younger, meeting someone new was part of the daily rhythm, through work, social events, or even chance encounters at a coffee shop. But after 65, the reality can feel very different. The pool of people who are single, interested, and truly compatible with you is limited. Maybe you've tried dating again, joined community groups, or used online platforms, only to find that the right connection feels elusive. It's easy to get discouraged and wonder, is it worth the effort to look for love at this stage? Maybe you tell yourself that finding a compatible partner is just too hard, or that your chances are slim. But what if the difficulty isn't just about luck or circumstance? What if it's about knowing what truly matters to you now, and being patient enough to wait for the right match? The truth is, compatibility takes on new meaning later in life. It's no longer just about shared hobbies or physical attraction. It's about aligning values, communication styles, and lifestyle choices. Science supports this idea. Research shows that seniors prioritize emotional stability, kindness, and practical compatibility far more than passion alone. At this age, you want someone who respects your independence, understands your health needs, and shares your outlook on life's next chapter. But finding that person requires time, reflection, and sometimes a change in how you approach relationships. Instead of rushing to fill a void or settling for companionship alone, it's important to be clear about what you truly want and need. That means being honest with yourself about your priorities, your deal breakers, and what kind of partnership will genuinely enrich your life. If you're feeling frustrated by the dating scene or discouraged by past experiences, try shifting your focus. Rather than hunting for the one right away, consider building friendships and connections first. Sometimes the strongest relationships grow from genuine camaraderie and mutual respect before romance blossoms. Attend community events, explore hobbies, or volunteer, places where you can meet people who share your interests and values naturally. Let me share a story about Ruth, who started dating again at 70 after losing her husband. At first, she felt overwhelmed by the idea of finding someone who fit into her well-established life. But rather than rushing, she focused on forming friendships and enjoying social activities without pressure. Over time, she met Paul, a man who shared her love of gardening and had a gentle, patient spirit. Their relationship grew slowly but steadily, grounded in deep understanding and respect. Ruth often says, "It took longer than I expected, but it was worth every minute of waiting." So, if you're struggling to find a compatible partner later in life, remember that you're not alone, and that it's okay for the journey to take time. Love at this stage isn't about instant fireworks or grand gestures. It's about finding someone whose presence feels like a steady, comforting light. Be patient, be kind to yourself, and stay open to possibilities that may come in unexpected ways. Your next chapter can be filled with meaningful connections that honor your independence, celebrate your experiences, and bring you joy. When you find that truly compatible partner, It won't be because you rushed. It will be because you knew what you wanted and dared to wait. 7. Taking care of each other isn't easy. As we get older, love often takes on new layers of meaning, especially when it involves caring for one another. In youth, love might be all about excitement, discovery, and shared adventures. But later in life, love frequently means becoming a caregiver, a confidant, and a steady presence through health challenges and daily struggles. It's a role many never expected, yet one that touches the lives of so many seniors every day. Maybe you found yourself suddenly responsible for helping a partner manage medications, attend doctor appointments, or cope with new limitations. Or perhaps you're the one needing that care and feeling the mixed emotions that come with dependence. It's natural to assume that love makes these tasks easier, but the truth is, taking care of each other isn't easy at all. It requires patience, sacrifice, and a strength that goes beyond romance. You might ask yourself, how do we keep love alive when the focus shifts to caregiving? How do we stay connected when illness or disability changes the way we relate? These are tough questions, and the answers aren't simple. But understanding the challenges helps us prepare and adapt with grace. Caregiving can strain even the strongest relationships. Physical exhaustion, emotional stress, and financial pressures can create tension and frustration. Sometimes, caregivers feel overwhelmed and isolated, while those receiving care may struggle with feelings of guilt or loss of independence. These realities can test love in unexpected ways. However, experts in aging and relationships emphasize that honest communication and mutual respect are vital. Recognizing each other's feelings without judgment, asking for help when needed, and celebrating small victories together can make a significant difference. It's also important to remember that love and caregiving is expressed in countless quiet ways: a comforting touch, a patient smile, or simply being there when words fail. If you're navigating this journey, start by setting realistic expectations. Understand that neither of you has to be perfect. It's okay to have hard days and moments of frustration. Finding support, whether from friends, family, or community resources, can lighten the load and renew your energy. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. I want to share the story of Joan and Bill, longtime partners who faced Bill's diagnosis of Parkinson's disease together. Joan became his primary caregiver, balancing medical appointments with daily tasks. Some days were exhausting and emotionally draining, but they learned to lean on each other's strengths. Joan remembers a moment when Bill, despite his challenges, held her hand and said, "Thank you for not giving up on me." That simple gratitude made every sacrifice feel worthwhile. Their love wasn't about grand gestures, but about enduring commitment and compassion. So, if you find yourself caring for a loved one or receiving care, know that these challenges are part of a profound expression of love. It's okay to seek help and to talk openly about your feelings. Remember to take care of yourself, too. Your well-being matters just as much. Love in later life is a journey with twists and turns. Taking care of each other might not be easy, but it's often the most meaningful part of what it means to love deeply. With patience, understanding, and kindness, you can find strength in your shared path, building a bond that endures beyond challenges and shines in the simple moments of care. 8. Living alone doesn't mean absolute loneliness. Living alone can sometimes feel like a double-edged sword. On one hand, there's the freedom to set your schedule, decorate your space exactly how you like, and enjoy the quiet that comes with solitude. On the other hand, there are moments, those long evenings or quiet weekends, when the silence feels heavy and the house seems a little too empty. Many seniors worry that living alone means being lonely, isolated from the world, and disconnected from the people who matter most. It's a fear that lingers quietly, even if we don't often say it out loud. But what if living alone doesn't have to mean loneliness? What if it's possible to enjoy solitude without feeling isolated, to treasure independence while still feeling deeply connected? These ideas challenge the common assumption that being alone equals being lonely, and open up a whole new way of thinking about life in our golden years. Researchers who study aging and social health have found that loneliness isn't simply about physical solitude. It's about feeling disconnected, misunderstood, or unsupported. Many people who live with others can feel lonely, while others who live alone enjoy rich social lives and strong emotional bonds. What matters most is the quality of your connections, not the number of people around you. So, how can you embrace living alone as a positive, fulfilling choice rather than a source of loneliness? Start by creating a daily rhythm that keeps you engaged with the world. This might mean scheduling regular phone calls or video chats with family and friends, joining a local club or senior center, or volunteering your time for a cause you care about. Even small, everyday interactions, smiling at a neighbor, chatting with a cashier at the grocery store, or attending a community event, can fill your days with connection. Another way to find companionship while living alone is to explore new interests or rekindle old hobbies. Painting, gardening, writing, or learning an instrument can bring joy and purpose. Many seniors find that these activities introduce them to like-minded people and open doors to new friendships. And don't underestimate the comfort a pet can bring. Whether a loyal dog or a gentle cat, animals provide unconditional love and companionship. Let me tell you about Grace, a widow in her early 70s who chose to live alone after her husband passed. At first, she worried she'd be lonely. But she committed to herself. Every week, she would connect with at least 3 people, whether by phone, coffee dates, or volunteering at the local library. Over time, Grace built a vibrant social circle that filled her life with laughter and support. She also adopted a small dog named Max, who quickly became her constant companion. Living alone doesn't mean being lonely, Grace says with a smile. It means I get to choose how to fill my life with love, friendship, and freedom. If you're feeling the weight of solitude, remember that it's okay to reach out. Sometimes the hardest part is taking that first step, whether it's making a phone call, accepting an invitation, or trying a new activity. You don't have to do it all at once. Small, consistent efforts can transform your experience over time. Living alone offers a unique opportunity to discover your rhythms and passions, to enjoy the peace that comes from self-reliance, and to build a life that reflects your values and desires. It's a chapter filled with potential, not just quiet moments. So if you're living alone, or considering it, know this: solitude and loneliness are not the same. You can live alone and still feel connected, valued, and fulfilled. Your community is out there, and so is your inner strength and joy. Embrace the freedom, nurture the connections, and remember that being alone doesn't mean you're ever truly lonely. 9. The ultimate happiness in late life is peace with yourself. As the years gently add up, many of us find ourselves reflecting more deeply on what truly matters. When we were younger, happiness might have meant chasing achievements, building careers, or raising families. But now, in the quiet moments of later life, a different kind of happiness begins to take center stage. A happiness that doesn't come from outside success or approval, but from a deep, abiding peace with ourselves. Maybe you've felt it too, the subtle restlessness that creeps in despite having checked so many boxes. You might look around and wonder, is this all there is? Or perhaps you carry regrets or old wounds that weigh heavily on your heart. These feelings are common, yet often hidden beneath the surface. We might pretend to ourselves and others that we're content, while inside, a yearning for inner calm and acceptance quietly grows. What if the secret to true happiness at this stage isn't about adding more to our lives, but about embracing what we already have? What if peace with yourself, accepting your past, forgiving mistakes, and honoring who you are, is the greatest gift you can give yourself? Science supports this beautiful truth. Studies in psychology show that self-acceptance is one of the strongest predictors of well-being in older adults. When we stop fighting who we are and start embracing ourselves fully, our minds relax, stress diminishes, and joy becomes more accessible. Meditation, mindfulness, and reflective practices can help cultivate this peace, but it also grows naturally when we allow ourselves compassion. So, how can you begin this journey toward peace with yourself? Start small. Take time each day to pause and breathe deeply. Notice your thoughts without judgment. Remind yourself that every experience, joyful or painful, has shaped the unique person you are today. Let go of harsh self-criticism or comparisons with others. Instead, celebrate your resilience, wisdom, and the love you've shared. If forgiveness feels heavy, try writing a letter to yourself or someone else, expressing what you need to release. Sometimes, speaking your truth in a safe space can unlock healing. Connect with supportive friends, spiritual communities, or counselors who can walk alongside you as you find this peace. I want to share a story about Harold, a retired teacher in his late 70s. For years, he carried regret over strained relationships and missed opportunities. But through meditation and journaling, he gradually found a way to forgive himself and others. I realized I was holding on to pain like a heavy coat I didn't need anymore, he said. When I finally let it go, I felt lighter than I had in decades. Now, Harold spends his days gardening and volunteering, filled with a calm happiness that comes from within. If you're searching for happiness in late life, know this: it begins with peace in your own heart. It's okay if the journey feels slow or uncertain. Every step toward self-kindness is a step toward true joy. The happiness that comes from peace isn't fleeting. It's steady, grounding, and deeply nourishing. So, embrace who you are, cherish your story, and permit yourself to find rest in your own company. This peace is your birthright, a gentle light that can shine brightly no matter what life brings. When you make peace with yourself, you open the door to a happiness that lasts, a happiness that truly feels like home. As we come to the end of this video, I want to remind you that late life love is a journey filled with unique challenges and beautiful opportunities. Whether it's learning to appreciate a quieter kind of companionship, navigating family dynamics, or finding peace within yourself, remember that your happiness is deeply personal, and it's never too late to create the life you deserve. You've heard about the hard truths, how love after 65 isn't quite like it used to be, how independence sometimes means embracing moments of loneliness, and how financial or health burdens can make relationships fragile. But you've also discovered the power of friendship, the importance of honest communication, and most importantly, that ultimate happiness comes from peace with yourself. If there's one thing I hope you take away today, it's this: love in your golden years doesn't have to look perfect or follow anyone else's expectations. It can be quiet, steady, and deeply fulfilling in ways you might never have imagined. You are worthy of love and joy exactly as you are. So, take your time. Be gentle with yourself. Keep reaching out, keep connecting, and keep nurturing your heart. Share your stories and your feelings with those you trust, because we're all in this together. And remember, living fully and happily after 65 is not just possible. It's your right. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video spoke to you, please leave a comment below sharing one insight or action you'll take today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more honest conversations and uplifting stories. Until next time, take care and be kind to yourself.